What's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Are my titties in? Is everything good? Let's see. I'm gonna sit up a little bit taller.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
Today's gonna be a rambly video, but before we get into it and have a little bit of fun, I think you guys are actually gonna really like this rambly video too, because I have a lot to say and I wasn't thrown off by completely ruining my camera beforehand. But before we get into it, if you guys wanna help me out, so here's the thing. I got demonetized again after being re-monetized, and that I don't mean like one video has the little yellow money sign. I'm saying I literally had my whole channel demonetized again for the second time in 2 months. I waited a month, reapplied, it got reinstated, and before I could get just one Google AdSense fucking payment, so 1 month's worth of revenue, I'm fucking demonetized again, and I am just at a loss for words and pretty fucking jaded. My lips are very dry because I didn't put anything on top of my lip stuff, so if I start having a lisp, it's not because I did anything with my teeth or my lips or got any more plastic surgery or fillers. I literally, for some reason, just have like cotton mouth right now, even though I promise you I'm completely sober. But anyway, if you want to help me bitch at YouTube, because really the only way I've ever seen anyone get something reinstated quickly or even in a timely manner without waiting the whole 1 month grace period before I can like resubmit myself is to bitch on Twitter. So I'm gonna post a link in the description that's gonna be to a tweet that I made. If you guys really wanna harass YouTube, and I mean harass in the most friendly way, just like let them know the things that they are doing wrong and the error of their ways, which is totally your choice. You don't have to, don't feel obligated. At them or respond to the tweet that I posted there, retweet the tweet, but I think the best way to do it is kind of just bombard them with your voice, saying that, hey, we don't want Tara to be treated this way, please reinstate her channel, this was a mistake. I didn't change anything, I didn't add anything, and I was demonetized again after being remonetized and confirmed that my channel was fine. In fact, I even took off the video with Hunter and I doing the lingerie, which was the only thing that could ever possibly be misconstrued as sexual content in any way, and for a long time I haven't had anything on my channel that's like that, so it's really weird to me that this is happening again. Today I want to talk about just how I've been feeling, how I've been doing, some interesting things I did recently. One of the most interesting things I did was I went to a very bougie, like high-class, stuffy dinner with Hunter for a scholarship program that he had in college or whatever, and he's still like part of that program a little bit. I don't really know exactly what they do, but they help students formulate a plan to be successful in business or law or whatever they want to do once they graduate college. I dressed up for it. I wore this black midi dress. I guess it was a maxi dress, but it had a slit that went up to like a midi area, like mid-thigh. And then it had like a little X crossing over my boobs and like a keyhole where you could see my boobs. I was initially unhappy about going to this thing simply because Hunter was like, you really need to like cover up for this. You need to not be like titties popping out. So then I was like slowly working on him for a month. I was like, yo, is this one okay? And it was like one that was completely covered but had like maybe like a sheer part in the middle as like a hint of boobie. And then I saw this black one and I was like, this is so me, while also looking elegant, and it's gonna be form-fitting because it's just basically cotton. And I was like, I really want to wear something where I feel sexy. So what I did was I asked him again. He's like, oh yeah, that's okay. And I'm like, I've been like worrying about this the whole time and this is completely fine. He's like, oh yeah, I just didn't want you to wear the same thing that like you would wear to the strip club or to an actual club. And I'm like, obviously, dude, like what the fuck? So I was able to wear still a sexy dress and I felt very sexy. The night was interesting. It started out with champagne and just socializing, and I have these nails, these like really, hold on, let me show you. They're like shimmery gold nails, one of which I already broke because we went on a hike yesterday. But I had the gold nails, I had the matching gold clutch purse. I never carry a purse, but for this I carried a clutch. And then I had high heels that also were sparkly gold, and that was kind of like my little attention grabbing portion of my outfit other than the keyhole titty. And then the rest of it was just blacked out. Like I didn't wear a full sequin dress because I couldn't really find one that I liked that much. So during the socializing I was a little bit uptight, I'm not gonna lie, because a lot of these people are very important. They're like senior partner lawyers and like businessmen and like people on the board of this scholarship program. And so I would gauge the situation while Hunter was talking to the person and decide whether or not that person was like really warm to me and talking about other things that weren't like law related. And then I would chime in and kind of be myself, but just a little more PG version. Like I wouldn't say super sexist jokes or anything that was like super making fun of Hunter, because you know the way I like to interact with people is I'll make fun of them and I like them to make fun of me, and we both like drop our egos for a good joke type of thing. I like to really bully people with love. My friends, my lovers, whatever. And so I didn't want to do that as much. And then there were people who literally just wanted to talk law, and they were like, oh yeah, that's your girlfriend Tara, okay. And then like I would just look at the wife and I would do what the wife is doing. It's a fun technique. Like I am really bad at, in social situations, like picking up cues of what's going on in the room, because I just don't care. I'm just usually doing myself. Like I'm doing whatever I want to do, and if they don't like me or if they deem me to be inappropriate, like that's their fucking problem. We just won't hang out anymore or something, or they can bring it up to me directly and I'll decide whether or not that is a valid complaint and act accordingly. But here I actually like focused in on like the wife. What is the wife doing? And since the wife is probably also not a lawyer, she was just like standing there holding her drink, taking a drink every few seconds, and like nodding and smiling anytime he says something. So I started to do that. I was giving eye contact to the person who was talking, and whenever Hunter was saying something, I would just nod and smile and be like, yeah, and like it was so fucking mind-numbingly boring at certain points, but I was kind of interested in just learning how to fit that role, because I think it's good to be able to fit into these roles and do these things even if you won't ever choose to do them yourself, especially if like the person you love requires it of you and you don't want to be like a burden on them at all. Speaking of being a burden on him for this, I literally looked up etiquette videos. I watched 2 etiquette videos. One of them was 40 minutes long on what to do at fancy dinners. So we were sitting at like round tables with like a few, it's cool, we got sat with like his friend and his other friend and their girlfriends, so it wasn't like random people or like senior members that I had to be really careful around that we were sitting with at dinner. But it was one of those things where it's like a 3-course meal. You have the salad, and the salad was literally like circles of beets, 3 pieces of some kind of lettuce looking stuff, like spinach looking stuff, like literally 3 leaves, that's it. And then like 3 things of goat cheese with like an almond on top of each of them. And like the only thing I actually liked out of it was the goat cheese and the almonds. So I like fucking ate the goat cheese and the almonds. But anyways, like I know now that like your bread plate is on this side because you make a B, and your drink is on this side because you make a D, so you don't like end up stealing someone else's stuff at a table. I know now how to hold each of the wine glasses, which was one of the hardest parts of the night because I hate wine so much. It makes me make a face every time I sip it. But Hunter was like, come on, like booze with me, drink with me or whatever. And so I'm like, and I'm like drinking it like just wine because that's what they keep serving. And it's like, oh, it's so awful. And I'm drinking a lot of water in between. And then I also know that like you start from the outside cutlery or whatever to the inside. So it's like the outside one is the salad one, and then the inside one is the entree one, and then at the top you have like whatever you use for dessert, and you have to like pull it down. And then there's like an etiquette for like how you put your forks and shit when you're done with the meal, so that they come and take your plates. And it was really odd, and it was really funny because they say when you get the bread, you're supposed to take 1 piece and then use the little butter knife and put a little butter on it. You're not supposed to just bite out of the bread or like eat the bread whole or whatever. And like Hunter was biting the bread, and I'm like, you're doing it wrong. Like this Mr. Man who cares all about this etiquette and has to schmooze with all these people at this fancy dinner, like he's doing it wrong. So I got a little bit of a kick out of being like, yo, you're doing that wrong. You should probably have a little more class, you know? Because it doesn't matter that much to be like that, especially at a table with all of his friends, but like I was gonna take it to the extreme since I had to learn this. But I don't know. It's good to be able to do that stuff. It's good to know that, you know, you sit up right and you leave a little space at the back of your chair so that you don't squish the kitten behind you. That's like another etiquette thing. And then another thing was I had a clutch instead of a large purse, so I put the clutch underneath my napkin on my lap, and I was just like, this is all so absurd, but I'm so glad that I can do this for Hunter because I love him so much, which is definitely something I've come to solidify more in my head the last few months. He just feels more and more perfect for me, which is kind of odd because on paper, neither one of us, and we talk about this all the time, and I've told you this before, neither one of us thought that we could ever be in an actual relationship together. We thought that we were way too different. We thought that it wouldn't make any sense and we would clash, and like I had some things that I would write off from him as like actual deal breakers, and now it just feels like we fit so well. And any of the arguments we've had, even though they're not perfect, which is kind of cool, it's like they're not perfect. It's not just like the easiest thing in the world where we're just avoiding any kind of confrontation, but they're very productive, I feel, at least. As long as I take him at his word that he does want to make this work and that he is being honest and forthright with me with stuff, I think that we can actually make a really, really stable, long-lasting partnership out of this and just work on the few things that we have that don't mesh perfectly and the few issues that I've had with him. And I just really feel really good about it. And like the way he makes me feel when he like holds me at night, which is one of the best feelings in the world because I'm a very cuddly person and so is he. It's like I'm willing to fight for this and I'm very happy that I've somehow stumbled upon this, or maybe I'm just so out of touch that I didn't realize that like this was what I wanted. I don't know, and I somehow subconsciously found it in him. I don't know. I'm choosing to love him for who he is and I'm having a really good time with it and discovering more about myself during it. But one thing that's been bothering me lately is my work-life balance. It's weird because at first I was elated at how Hunter goes to work early in the morning and comes home late at night and I have all of that time to work. But in reality, I know a lot of you guys think I don't work very hard, but in reality, with all of the platforms I have to keep up and all of the things that I have to do, I feel very overwhelmed with only like an 8 to 10 hour workday. Sometimes 12, but very rarely. I feel like I'm not getting enough done. With Jay, when I was living with Jay, I would literally work through the weekends. I would almost never take time to actually do stuff with Jay or to relax or to like nurture our relationship or to like decompress myself. And I would often spend like 16 hours a day working, never take weekends. Maybe I would do a one-day thing here or a half-day thing there. But I always felt very stressed and I would burn out. But at the same time, I had time to keep up with all of these things. Now I feel very constricted, and then at the same time, I feel less inspired than usual. It's weird. The most inspired I had felt in a long time is when I went back to my house, Jay's house, and filmed something upstairs in my stream room. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry, I got extensions and this one extension needs to be moved because it's see-through. So I keep like moving it and trying to play with it. But anyway, it's very weird being surrounded by all of my stuff. I just felt more inspired. Like I could have done the exact same set basically here in like Hunter's office, in his office chair or whatever, but something about it, I just was really inspired and took a lot of great content for OnlyFans. By the way, links to that and Patreon are in the description if you want the extra content. But I don't know why, I just felt way more inspired like I used to. Like I would go upstairs and I would just like film all day. I would procrastinate a little. I'm trying to get better at procrastination, but now I feel like I'm here and I know what I need to do and I know the stuff I need to get done, but I procrastinate way more, or it's like really hard not to procrastinate because I feel so uninspired all the time. Like occasionally I'll be really into it, and I used to really fucking love my job in every aspect of it, and very rarely would I just be like, oh, I gotta film this one thing or something. Or I would be too much of a perfectionist, you know, where like you get too in your head and then the thing never gets done because you want it to be perfect and you're too afraid for it not to be perfect that you never actually do it. Like that would happen to me before, but now I just feel like I'm almost always, or like more often than not at least, maybe not almost always, uninspired and not really wanting to do the stuff that I need to do for my job. And it's weird because I used to love almost every aspect of my job, as I was saying, but now I feel like I love it less, and there's just bursts of inspiration that are short-lived. So I feel like it's because of the stress of not being able to get everything done, or not having like an abundance of time to get everything done, that I am being stressed and therefore not inspired to do things because I feel like it's never ending and I'll never get everything done. So I really need to find a balance that works out, because I want to take these weekends, because these weekends and the nights that I have with Hunter are like what's making me a whole person. But I also don't want to throw everything that I am into Hunter and just like not be myself with my channel and my job and everything. And obviously being demonetized constantly has jaded me a little bit, so that's annoyed me. Or like certain things that are external to Hunter have maybe like made me less inspired to do my job. But then I also have to keep up a bunch of new friendships too. So like I'm nurturing my decompression time and my time with Hunter, which are like the most valuable times for me. Honestly, I love them so much. I love every second that I get with him. I love making him dinner at night, stopping work to make dinner and then go to bed and like not worry about work, instead of like working until I barely can keep my fucking eyes open and then going to sleep and then doing it all over again in the morning and maybe procrastinating a little bit in the morning routine and then just working again until I can't keep my fucking eyes open and I'm dying. Like instead of that, I have set times that I can work, but I think trying to jumble a social life, a boyfriend, friend, decompression, downtime, alone time, etc., to keep the relationship healthy. And then to also keep up with all of this stuff, I think I need to cut some things, or like I need to streamline it more. And that's my instinct. Streamline it more, be perfect. But then at the same time, that means that like it makes me get in my head and then nothing ever gets done. It's like that's what I'm struggling with right now. I've been very productive today, and I'm gonna do my best to continue to be productive and have more like strict scheduling. Like instead of wanting to eat lunch, which I've been wanting to do for like an hour now, I'm like, no, I gotta get this shit done. Then I can eat lunch, do this other thing. I'm gonna start making like lists of shit that I have to do, and I'm not gonna really compromise on it, I guess. I need to just be wholly focused and productive during the day when I am working, when I'm supposed to be working, and then not worry about it on days that I'm not, because there is a little bit of like stress in the back of my mind where I feel like, you know, I don't ever want to not make my own money. I'm worried that eventually, like obviously I have money in stocks and things like that, and I have plans for the future, but I'm a little stressed about the time when the time comes that I won't be able to make the money I'm making now off of like my content on YouTube or my body on OnlyFans or whatever. Like I love doing that stuff, and I hope that it's not coming to an end. And then I also have this extra stress where I'm like, I never ever ever want to live off of Hunter, you know, like I don't even know if that's even possible or if he would even do that for me. So everything's kind of up in the air and just has like a big question mark on it right now. So that's another thing that's like it's in the back of my mind, a little bit of a fear, but not too much. I wouldn't say it's too much of a fear, honestly. I'm really overall happier, much happier than I was before. It's just I need to figure out this balance, and I still haven't. And I need to figure out why I feel so uninspired in this house working in these hours, because I genuinely fucking love having a real schedule where I wake up in between 5:30 and 7:30 every day, and then go to bed at the same time every day, get a good amount of sleep, and then wake up and do it again, and I have the whole day. I love taking time in between like filming something or doing something when I'm just sick of doing a bunch of like work shit or editing. I love going out and doing his dry cleaning or getting the groceries or doing the laundry and just having some like downtime that isn't work. I really like that, and I love the feeling of taking care of the person that I love and making his day a lot easier. It's great, but it is not without its kinks, and I feel like one of the biggest kinks is like my inspiration. I told you guys that there's gonna be a big change, and I do want to talk to you guys more about this, and I'm just gonna fucking tell you guys right now. I'm looking to buy a condo. I've been looking for the past month, and it's been very hard, mainly because the market is literally so hot that as soon as I see something I want, it's just gone. Or I'm like outbid by someone who's putting in a cash offer, like a full ass cash offer, which has been really weird. I wanted some assets that I own, and I also need a place that I own, because right now, even though Hunter never actually like openly makes me feel this way, maybe the reason why I'm uninspired is because I feel like I'm surrounded by monotony rather than being surrounded by all of the things that I love, you know, all of the gaming stuff and the colorful stuff and my perfect setups. I feel like I'm living within his world. And then at home, I have to work around Jay and Brittany, and it just feels annoying to like film there when I'm not upkeeping how nice it looks, and the cat's destroyed all the time, and Jay might be there, which makes it harder to film content, not because of him, but because I just like to be kind of alone when I'm filming content. I don't want someone overhearing it and like, you know, they're not actually gonna get involved. If they got involved, that'd be cool. Like if Jay's involved in a video or Hunter's involved in a video, like that's cool. But when they're not and they're just in the house and I'm filming, it's just like, I don't feel like I have a place that's my own that I can escape to. And so I've been looking to buy. I will do a whole video, or at least more of a video, talking about the process. I haven't taken any footage, but that's another thing that has gotten a lot of my attention lately, because I have to keep going to these different showings, and I have to, like right now, I have to go upstairs after lunch or during lunch, I guess, and I have to do all of this shit for like another loan, because the loan that I got approved for isn't good for this one building I'm trying to stay in. So it's like a lot of stuff at once, and then I'm doing my taxes, and I feel overwhelmed, but I also feel really optimistic for the future and happy and motivated to be my perfect self, to be a better self, and to make good content for you guys, whether it's on OnlyFans or Patreon, link in the description, or here on YouTube and Instagram as well. Although it's been harder to make good like B-roll content or like sexy content because I don't really have anyone around to take the footage for me. I'm going to consider to have Jay start helping me again, since he has like a real girlfriend and he's not as like trying to fuck me anymore as much, so maybe that'll be okay. But yeah, my life has been pretty weird this last year. earlier, I've known Hunter for 8 months now, and I never thought that like 8 months ago, in 8 months, I would have a completely different life, but that I would be so happy either. So I'm grateful, and we're gonna see where this takes me. Thanks for the chat. Thank you for listening. It's been wonderful. I feel like I'm very formal, but I just bought this, and I gotta film a bunch of stuff for OnlyFans in this like haul that I did. Like I have a bunch of outfits that are sexy, and I'm looking still for like a favorite bikini that I can wear to all the like beach events and all the cabana events that we're gonna be doing this summer. And I am so excited for summer. Never been this excited for summer in my life. Hunter and I have already started mountain biking. We went hiking Gold Strike Hot Springs yesterday. It's a really hard 6-mile hike with like ropes and shit. And we're just having fun exploring. And I'm having fun developing a relationship with someone that I'm head over heels for, seriously. So I hope you're happy for me. I don't know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.